What's up, everybody? Dan Tortora here inside of Mother's Cupboard on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for another edition of From Mother's Cupboard to Table. I just had some chili, cheeseburger, the fries. By the way, I've talked about this chili on the show. If you're going to get to my heart with chili, you can't just have spice. You got to put a little bit of sweetness in here. And this is why I talk up the chili made by Pete Green, the owner here at Mother's Cupboard. I am here, of course, with the unforgettable, amazing, very kind, humble, hardworking, one of the best people I know. It gives me way too much credit. Jason Leone, the head coach of the Oswego Lakers men's basketball team.
Dan, thanks for having me.
And so we're in the midst of the season.
Yep.
We talked going into the season. I was looking back at our videos from Mother's Cupboard to Table, and I couldn't believe that we were talking going into the season. It feels like a million years ago, but it was just a little while ago we were saying what the season could be, what we're looking forward to. Now that we're in it, and you've had some time, some months with this team, what are the Oswego Lakers right now, in your opinion, as we head toward this eventual home stretch?
Well, let me first start by saying I just love my guys. I mean, this has been this particular core group of guys that I've had with me for 3 years now, and through COVID, they stayed on campus, even though we were remote a lot of the time. I've just got a soft spot in my heart for this team. And we've just had some memories that have been made, and this year's been no different. Guys have played so hard and so committed, and we're off to a great start again. We're 13-1 and undefeated in our conference. I think it's 7-0 now, and ranked number 6 in the country in Division III nationally. So it's been a great year, but obviously, you know, like I told you during the summer, there's high expectations, so inevitably, part of sports is, you know, is coming down the stretch here. We all want to try to make postseason and see what we can do at that point of the year if we're lucky enough to make postseason.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, you discuss it, but 6th in the nation. I just want to paint the picture for you all what that means. When you're in Division III men's basketball and you're ranked number 6 in the nation, ranked at all, let alone number 6 in the nation, over 400 teams,
yes.
Over 40 conferences.
Yes.
So over 40 conferences, over 400 teams, and you're number 6 of 400 plus. That is remarkable, and it's right in our backyard.
Appreciate that. It's the ranking is a great thing that, you know, you kind of embrace it because it's a great thing for our fans, our alums, even our players to enjoy it. I think there's 2 different ways you can go with it. I think, you know, you get worried that your team can somehow get led into complacency, or feel like that might dictate how hard they work on a day-to-day basis. Our guys have been incredibly mature and have embraced this whole thing as something that all of the people that follow Oswego State basketball can be proud of, and it is truly a good thing, and something that's been earned.
Yeah, you know, we look at consistency is one thing. We were talking about it out there. It's one thing to have success, and that's really hard to get to. It's even more difficult to have sustained success. How has this program created, and we've talked about this over the years, how have you had sustained success? How do you get to the mountain and then make sure you stay up there while you look at the next peak?
Well, you know, part of that, as we've talked a lot in the past, was established before I got here, and then I think, you know, just during the 13 years I've been here, there's a certain standard that has been embraced by a lot of different people that are stakeholders in the program, right? Our administrators, who've been incredibly supportive, our support staff, our assistant coaches that have done such a great job in the area of recruiting and player development, and then most importantly, the players, right? So, recognizing what it takes to be successful in a consistent manner, putting time in when nobody's watching, and then probably the most important thing is responding in the right way after things that happen that are, maybe non-successes, losing games, maybe having a down season. The way we responded, that all contributes to the consistency of winning.
You made history last season, being so close to stepping into the Final Four. The first Elite Eight ever for this team in Oswego State men's basketball history. I know that was last year, but we're bringing a bunch of those guys back and they're fighting again, right? So as they fight this year, how have you seen them appreciate history, but also let it go so that they can focus?
Yeah, I think with the veteran group, we've addressed it a couple times, but honestly, this has been a unique year in that the whole year we've had the spotlight on. So the last couple of years we kind of haven't until the end. So this year's been has presented some different challenges for our team. And enjoying the day-to-day process is something that we've really talked about quite a bit. And we still really, have not hit where I think we need to be playing at the level you're talking about, referring to. So just recently, in the last 7 days, I feel like we're starting to get there, which is exciting. To your question, I think it's just really important that, simply put, we kind of enjoy that this is going to take some time and not be focused on micro level stuff, but there's also got to be inclusive when you're talking about, macro level, big picture stuff.
And when you look at the big picture stuff right now with this team, what are those big picture things up on the board that you're honing in on as a staff?
Developing our bench, I think that's an important thing, continuing to do that, staying healthy, getting healthy. And then, if you watch our team play, we're fairly undersized around the basket, so, offsetting some of the things that maybe could be perceived as our challenges or weaknesses, trying to hone in on things we need to do that other teams are trying to take advantage of when they play us, improve in those areas. So we're not exposed in the brightest lights.
When you get to that point of the Elite Eight last year, the Final Eight in the nation of 400 plus, what did you learn from that moment about the little things, the intricacies? Is there anything that you took away from that saying, okay, when we have this upcoming season, which we're now in 2023-24, what are some of those threads that you've now interwoven into this program to make sure you have this stuff? Because you know what it's like to be on a bigger stage.
Yeah. Awesome question. Just how well you got to play every night. I mean, we had, so you're referring to this as this historic, exceptional season, which it was. There were still 3 more games that we had to win to get to the, so that, if you really truly sit down and think about that, okay, we won 3 games in the tournament. We were only halfway to where one team got to win the whole thing. So you've got to play exceptionally well at that time of the season just to have an opportunity. And so just understanding the difficulty of the process is something that we learned together. And then just, you've got to really pay a price to advance in postseason. You've got to lean on hard. You've got to respect hard. You've got to embrace hard. And that's not always easy for players and coaches to do over a long period of time. So those are 2 things that if I had to put my finger on, from an intellectual perspective with our season, that we had to really, kind of talk about and think about.
At the time we're talking 13-1, like you said, overall, undefeated in the conference in the SUNYAC. Before we get to the SUNYAC, to look at 13-1, I know you want to win every game, but when you lose, especially with a team that has so much expectation, is it a good thing to get out of earlier on in the season? Is there something to the fact of saying, hey, we don't want to lose any games, but the fact that we lost this game, let's make this the only blemish? Like, how do you take that loss and say, with all the expectations, this can be a good thing for us in kind of maybe knowing we can't get away with certain things or whatever it may be?
Well, I think, I never put a nominal value on losses and how they can help or hurt. I mean, I think I'm not sure you can only learn lessons just by losing, right? We talk to our guys more about embracing daily improvement, and we don't want them to be fearful of failure, making mistakes or losses for that matter. We want them to embrace anything that happens during the season, win or lose, as an opportunity each day to get better. A season is truly, in my opinion, compiled of fact-finding and lesson-learning experiences. And if anything, communication is paramount with team members that, look, this is what happened. Let's convene. Let's listen to one another. Let's get